Silver and Blue Huddle is back, win or lose. Last night was actually kind of rough. I stayed up mad late to watch the Dallas Cowboys take on the Arizona Cardinals, and they didn't disappoint because they actually lost. So not what I really expected, not what we talked about last week. But I got my man Esberg Corner here. So amazing, had to stay work at late. He's a big time executive now, so he got to cover for when his employees don't show up. So he'll be back next week on the podcast. But me and Ed's gonna hold it down, man. We got a lot to talk about. Today is Trade Monday. So we got to talk about the trades, and we got to talk about the Cowboys game last night against the Arizona Cardinals. And we also got to celebrate. This is a Silver and Blue 50th episode. Like, to get my man Esberg Corner to get so amazing together 50 times to record an episode to talk about the Dallas Cowboys, that is straight commitment. I commend both of those guys for hanging in here with me all this time. And we're going to celebrate towards the end of the podcast. But let's hop right into this game. Cardinals, Cowboys, what is your first overall impression of last night's game? Esberg Corner, go.
If the offense is not perfect, we have no chance of winning football games. We've talked about this. The offense has to be perfect. You come out the first series, you drive right down the field, get inside the 10-yard line, inside the 5-yard line, and come away with 0 points.
Right.
You got to kick the field goal. I understand you wanting to be aggressive and go for points. But this game is to me, it's on two things. We know the defense is bad. We got to stop blaming the defense. They're bad. We know they're bad. They got a couple stops in that game. And when you get stops from this defense, you got to take advantage and put points on the board.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to put it on Brandon Aubrey for missing the 68-yarder. He just missed it. He had the distance. He just missed it. But you don't take points twice to where this game is a 27-26 game, 27-23 game when they had the ball at the end. The second thing is you can't turn the football over. Ferguson with the fumble. You had Javonte with the fumble. Those two, on top of not taking your points, cost the Dallas Cowboys the game. That's what it boils down to. If this offense is not going to play either near perfect or perfect football, we do not have a chance to beat teams that don't beat themselves. The other part of that is if you're not going to play perfect, then you have to make the Arizona Cardinals do something that they're not used to doing, and that's make them turn the football over. Right. And we made the Arizona Cardinals look like Tom Brady and the Patriots. I mean, how many times in that game, Rich, did we have them in 3rd and long, 3rd and 15, Multiple. And they throw a dot and get a first down, right? Multiple. You get a big sack with Ezaraku, big sack from Clowney, a big sack from Dante Fowler, and he just finds, Marvin Harrison wide open three times back to back. Right. So that's what it boils down to for me. This is on Brian Schottenheimer. He has been so good about choosing when to be aggressive, not be aggressive, doing the clock. And last night, he was the exact opposite. He was aggressive when he should have took the points. You have the best kicker in the league. Take your points. Make the Arizona Cardinals drive all the way down the field and put points on the board, but you giving them short fields with trying to be aggressive, and it just came back and bit the Cowboys last night. Yeah, and they still had a chance to come back and win the game.
Yeah, I thought on the very first series when they gave Javonte Williams the ball, he gashed the Cardinals like 3 or 4 straight times, and then he gets them down to the red zone. They maybe be like on the 10, and then they do like 3 straight passes. Like, why are they doing 3 straight passes instead of handing the ball off to Williams and seeing what he can get? I didn't understand that. At first, I didn't have too much of a problem with that very first going forward in the red zone because I figured they wanted the Cardinals to go down and drive down the field, and I thought that was going to be kind of difficult for them to do. But overall, I did want them to maybe take the points because you never know how the game turns out if you take your points. Like, being aggressive is cool and all, but man, you should have took your points there. And then, like you said, there was other opportunities in the game where they went for it on 4th down instead of taking 8 points because they could have really only been down by like a field goal late in that game. Well, like a touchdown late in that game to where they probably could have made some noise, but being overly aggressive. And I know I talked to a few Cowboy fans and they was like, well, the analytics say go for it in that situation. I'm like, listen, when you get fired, you can't blame that on the analytics. They can't fire the analytics.
Analytics sounds like when people say, well, the analytics say go for it, that sounds good when you have a sound football team. The Dallas Cowboys do not have a defense that's holding people under 25 points. You
Right.
have to get as many points as possible. And so when you get a chance to put points on the board, you put points on the board.
Facts.
Then at the end of the game, when the Cowboys are down 10 points and they're trying to go quick and be aggressive, if they take those 2 field goals, they're only down 4 points. It's a 27-23 ball game with 8 minutes left in the game. Now you are methodical. You're getting into your offense. You're able to run the football. You're able to run your entire offense. You're not trying to be overly aggressive. And unfortunately, last night, you're asking Dak Prescott to put the team on his back again, down 10 points with 8 minutes left. Go, and then he throws the ball to Javonte has the run, and literally he's going down, and the ball gets ripped out.
Yeah.
Then Dak has to be ultra aggressive, and he throws the pick at the end of the game.
Yeah.
It just you're putting too much on this offense when the offense is not running on all cylinders at the start of the game. They did look better at the end of the game when they're going in hurry up and they're trying to get the ball down the field. But that offense looks stagnant inside the 20. Again, how many times have we talked about this, Rich? Between the 20 and the 20-yard line, we look like the greatest offense on the planet. But then you get inside the 20-yard line, it's like it just gets so compressed, and it's like, how do you take advantage of your mismatches? And they're not successful down there. And Brian Schottenheimer looked bad as a head coach last night.
Yeah, and I know, like you said, they had multiple 3rd and 20s that they converted, and they threw the ball to Marvin Harrison damn near on the same route and the same play every time on a 3rd and 20, like a 3rd and 20, and then they converted like 25 yards down the field. Like, what are you doing? You not know where the sticks are? Why are you putting so much cushion? Like, they really don't make any sense to me. But I mean, defensively, I mean, I guess we can maybe give a shout out to Clowney because he did make some plays. In the end, it's kind of terrible when your best defensive player is like 40 years old, like, and you got all those other young guys around you. And we was also getting beat by Calais Campbell, who's also like 40 something years old. Like, offensive line kind of let us down a little bit. Dak had some sacks or whatever, but Jacoby Brissett making him look like Tom Brady out there. He was 21 for 31, checking it down. Like, I don't know what we was doing on offense or defense, but it was a bad loss. Out of all the losses we had, that one definitely is at the top of the list because that could have put us in contention again for the division. Because I think we talked about it. These next 2 games on our schedule, we needed to win, and we already let one slip by. So I don't know what we're gonna do coming off the bye. We got the Raiders. Geno Smith, we cannot let Geno Smith go out there and look like the Nets coming to Donovan McNabb. So I don't know.
They got a whole week to think about this,
right?
To get ready, right?
Yeah.
Like they have 2 weeks to get ready for the Raiders.
Yep.
They've got to figure some stuff out in the building. And listen, they asked Clowney today, or yesterday, what do you got to do to fix? And Clowney's like, that's not my job. My job is to rush the quarterback, stop the run. Stop asking me how to fix it. I don't know what the coverage. I don't know what's going on back there. Yeah. Like, at some point, these coaches got to get together and figure out what's going on because it's not working, whatever they're doing. And if we think that all of a sudden it's just going to click, like, this secondary just looks so bad. They are lost. And I don't know if it's lost because of coaching of where they're lining them up or the play calls that they're calling. The long third down start to frustrate me. The first one, they got in double A gap like they were blitzing, and they came with a blitz, and they left Deron Bland out there one-on-one with Marvin Harrison. And like you talk about, Deron Bland gave him 46 and a half yards of coverage to just run whatever route he wanted to, right? Then the second one that Harrison caught, they lined up in the double A gap and then got out of it. And still, you put Bland out there on an island, and Marvin Harrison has proven that he is a top-tier wide receiver. Right. If you give him one-on-one single coverage, he's going to beat whoever it is. Right. I don't understand the logic of, hey, it's 3rd and long. If you're going to blitz, here's the frustrating part. When you look at the end of the game, when they brought the corner blitz off the edge, they disguised it. They didn't know what was coming. When you line up in blitz coverage and you allow quarterbacks to see, okay, this is where they're blitzing from, then he can set his protection. And now he knows I got one-on-one outside with Marvin Harrison. Just run the 16-yard curl. I'm going to throw you the ball.
Facts.
It's just the coaching to me is just mind blowing to the point where listen. I tweeted yesterday, fire everybody, just get rid of all of them. The whole defensive coaching staff, y'all got to go.
Right.
Y'all just got to go. Somebody in section 106 in the stands got to come down here and be able to call defense better than this guy right now.
Right. Yeah. It was terrible, man. Like, fire everybody, get rid of the whole entire defense. You know, the Cowboys, it was trade deadline day for the NFL, and the Cowboys kind of made some trades today to maybe help their team. So let's talk about those. First off is the linebacker from Cincinnati, Logan Wilson. Logan Wilson. Now, I heard his name before. He was a leading tackler for the Bengals, like for many years, right? He got a little bit disgruntled because he wasn't playing as much this particular year. I think he lost his job, like you said, to somebody, but I don't think he's healthy though. I think he missed a few games already. And he missed a few games last year as well. He still came back and led the Bengals in tackles with like 100 and something. So he's a tackling machine.
Yes.
I want to know, like, what's your thoughts on Logan Wilson?
Let's think about it. Who had the worst defense in the NFL last year? Oh my God, it was the Cincinnati Bengals. They had one of the worst defenses in the NFL. So he's the best on one of the worst teams? Like, both of these trades today made no sense to me. Mm-hmm. You went and got a linebacker who, yes, he is very good inside the box tackling, right? He to me, and listen, I may be wrong. Go ahead and tell me if I'm wrong. It's okay to be wrong, but to me, he's just another Jack Sanborn to me. Oh, that's what he is to me. Like, he's going to make his tackles, but he looks bad in open space. Looks bad in open space. So I don't know. Listen, at linebacker, I felt like Shamar James has played really well. He's looked a lot better. Mm-hmm. Kenneth Murray still needs a lot of help, and Sanborn has looked horrible, but they think Overshown's going to be back, and he's going to be that guy. I think this is kind of insurance because they don't know what Overshown they're going to get back. I get it. If this guy can come in and make 111 tackles for the Cowboys, okay, that's great. That's, to me, that doesn't fix what the biggest issue for the Cowboys is, and that's those 4 or 5 guys on the back end that's supposed to cover their best players on the other team.
Right. And they also traded for a defensive tackle, Quentin Williams from the Jets. What do you think about that?
Great defensive tackle. He's one of the best defensive tackles in the league. When you put him and Kenny Clark in that game together, they are going to be dangerous in the middle. Mm-hmm. My biggest problem with this is neither one of the guys they picked up in trades is going to cover a single wide receiver or tight end coming out of the backfield. They're just not cover guys. Right. You got a defensive tackle he's going to put pressure on quarterbacks. He's going to help in the run game. A great pickup. I'm not upset about that pickup because he does help you for years to come, but you have a loaded defensive tackle room. Solomon Thomas, you just picked up Williams. You got Kenny Clark, Odigizua. It's a loaded defensive tackle room. Hopefully it can help. Hopefully it works out. But I really felt like they needed to go get help in the secondary, and they had draft picks and they had players that they could have traded to go get help with that secondary, and they didn't do that.
Right. I think like one of the biggest needs that the Cowboys probably could have addressed was probably at safety, right? Or maybe even like DB. I mean, I'm not really expecting Trayvon Diggs to come back and be who he was, or even like half or 75% of what he was, because he's already been kind of checked out this entire season. Hopefully that change or whatever, but I was hoping we go get like a Mika Fitzpatrick or something from the Dolphins and be able to like cover the back end, like the super back end, because the people that be back there right now, like they just be standing back there and then they wait for the person to come make a move on them, and then they like try to react. Like, man, when Trey McBride actually called that touchdown, like our defender just was waiting for Trey McBride to come up in his face, make his move, and then he react. But that was just terrible back there. Terrible defense. I'm sick of seeing guys just running wide open in the secondary. There's no Cowboy player nowhere near the offensive player, and they just be running and doing all kind of craziness. But hopefully Quentin Williams can come in and add more pressure on the quarterback, and maybe they'll be able to get some sacks. I'm thinking Jerry Jones is thinking that pressure is going to come from the inside versus the outside. So,
well, then what do you do with Odigizua? Like this to me, this is just like you put yourself in a position now where these two trades have to be huge wins for you. And
Mm-hmm.
I felt like these two trades maybe weren't trades for this year. Maybe this is future for the Dallas Cowboys. The good
Right.
thing is that Mozzie Smith no longer is a Dallas Cowboys. I mean, it's a good win, a good positive. Shout out Mozzie Smith. Go be a great player
Right.
for the New York Jets. Go be a
Right.
great player for the Jets. I'm just glad he's not in the Cowboy
Yeah.
uniform.
And to your point, he had to be included in the trade. You kind of called that a few podcasts ago that any trade that the Cowboys do must involve Mozzie Smith. So they got him up
Yeah.
out of there. So
Yeah, the problem is Mozzie Smith was the first round pick, and we had to give a first round pick player up and a first round draft pick and a
right.
second round draft pick. Now, don't get me wrong, Quinyon Williams he's worth that. I mean, he's a great defensive lineman.
Right.
He's on that Kenny Clark level for me. So this is a listen. Their front continues to get better with this pickup, but I felt like they needed some help in that secondary, and maybe they're trusting that Revel when he gets healthy, he's going to
Right.
step in and be a big help. Trayvon Diggs comes back, and they feel like that secondary will take some steps forward with maybe some guys getting healthy, but
Right.
you can't wait. You don't have a chance to wait at this point. Like you got like when I saw TV this morning, the Cowboys have a 7% chance of making the playoffs.
Right. Right. And that's
You didn't make you didn't make 7% trades today.
no, of course not. I mean, when I first heard of the trades as well, I had the same thought that you had. That hey, this is for next year. Like to me, this year is already a bust. So the Cowboys are 3-5-1. They got the Raiders coming up, which they maybe win, but I thought they was gonna win against the Cardinals. You got old man Jacoby Brissett out there, and he was out there just dotting the Cowboys up. So that
Yeah.
loss last night kind of like closed the door for me with the Dallas Cowboys. So they're gonna make all these trades to do what? Go 8-8 or play week 17 against the Giants and hopefully win and hope to get in the playoffs with a lot of help. Like that's what we've seen this movie before with Jason Garrett. Like it comes down to the last two games of the season where the Cowboys got to win, and then they do win, and then they needed a bunch of help. So it's just really playing with the feelings and emotions of all Cowboy fans. Be like, hey, now we got to wait till week 17, and we're gonna just end up 8-8. So just go ahead and throw this season out the door. Let's hope for next season. Quinn Williams, Logan Wilson, they be healthy. The rest of the guys come back healthy, and next year might be our year. So because this year's already this year's looking pretty bad.
Hey, at this point, if the Cowboys make the playoffs, it's a win for us. They have
Right,
nobody is giving us a chance to make the playoffs, including a lot of Cowboy Nation, and I
right.
get it. If they just make the playoffs, if they have a chance to make the playoffs, would be a successful season with the way it looks right now. But
Yeah,
for that to happen, something on that defensive side of the football has to change drastically
right,
because you can't expect the Cowboys to put up 40 points a game every game, 35, 40 points. It's just not
no,
going to happen. It's the NFL. You have off nights. Your star tight end fumbles the football. Your star running back fumbles the football. Dak doesn't
right.
look as crisp as he does. The offensive line did not block well in the pass game
No,
last night. You got to have a defense to complement when your offense is not playing
right.
well. So hopefully the
Yeah.
Cowboys can figure something out.
And the overall theme of the Cowboys is that they cannot play from behind. They got to play from ahead the entire time. Anytime you get the Cowboys down, it's probably a wrap for the Cowboys. Like you
Yeah,
got
which
Brandon
is why
Aubrey
you
out there
got to
missing
take
cakes.
points. You
Yes,
got to take points when you get a chance, but
absolutely.
instead you don't.
Yeah. So just to revisit one more thing, since the Cowboys actually made the trade, the Michael Parsons trade. So in that trade so far, we've been able to get Williams, Logan, Kenny Clark. Is that trade looking better now, considering who the Cowboys have got from that Packers trade? Like, or is it just not
Yeah,
related
I
at all?
think for us to fully evaluate that trade, we're gonna have to
Mm,
see what we do with the rest of those picks because we
okay.
gave our pickup. We didn't give Green Bay's pickup. We gave our pickup. So we'll see what we do with those two first round picks that we got from Green Bay. Plus, we got to kind of see what the Green Bay Packers do, right?
Right.
Uh, Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, I just don't hear a lot about Micah Parsons right now. Like, there's just not like a lot of media coverage. Like he's tearing the league up
No.
in Green Bay, and I get it. Like, new city, new surroundings, new team, new defense. It's going to take some adjustment for him, but he's just not the same Micah Parsons when he was with the Cowboys. And the Green Bay Packers are struggling too. So if the Packers don't make the playoffs, the Cowboys don't make the playoffs, but it's going to take another year before we truly see how that trade worked out. Obviously, it's working out well for us right now because we didn't pay him $40+ million to be over there doing nothing.
Yeah, getting one tackle in his last game. And, they actually played the Panthers, and Rico Dow had another career day against him. Like, surprise, surprise. The Packers are struggling, stopping the run. I mean, the Cowboy fans could have told you that was going to happen a while ago.
Yeah, you took away their best run stopper in Kenny Clark. You give them a guy that's historically not good versus the run. I mean,
Right.
Listen, and on the other side of that coin, if you think about if we had Micah on this defense, is this defense any better? Probably not, because again, your secondary is still pretty bad. Maybe Trayvon Diggs doesn't have his head down, the entire year. Maybe he plays a little bit better, but yeah, at this point, we both lost the trade because neither one of us are playing well.
Right. Absolutely. I totally agree. So one last question before we move on. Cowboys 3-5-1. In experts' head, do you see the Cowboys making a run for the playoffs? It's over my camera. Go ahead.
Oh, listen, it's hard to answer that question after you lose to Jacoby Brissett and the Arizona Cardinals. Like, how do you answer that question? I mean, in my heart, I want to say yes, they make a run, but listen, I need the head coach to these next 2 weeks as you get prepared for the Las Vegas Raiders. You got to figure some stuff out. If that's shaking the defense up, shake it up at this point. It's not working. Whatever. You guys got to get into this lab. Tell your families, we love y'all, but we're not going to see y'all for the next 12 to 14 days. We're going to be locked in at the Star. Tell every single one of these players, I know it's the bye week. Don't you dare take a vacation. I don't want to see no pictures on your Instagram of you having a good time nowhere. You're going to be in this goddamn building. We're going to be here every single day trying to figure this out because I'm tired of losing. No, I don't think they're going to make a run. I think the Dallas Cowboys need to shut it down for the year. I want them to make a run, but I don't see a scenario where this defense just miraculously gets better. You didn't bring anybody into the building to help you get better. I don't think Overshown getting healthy, Revel Jr. getting healthy, Trayvon Diggs coming back fixes the problems on this defense because I think it's systematically bad. Right? I think it's a combination of the players that you got and what you're trying to run with your defensive coordinator. Those two things don't match up together, and something has to change, right? Well, you're not changing personnel, and Brian Schottenheimer has said, I'm not changing coordinators. It's still not going to mesh. I just don't see it happening.
I think I read like a quote that Jerry Jones might have said. I don't know if it was fake or not, but he said that one of his regrets was actually not having continuity from the defensive coordinator standpoint. Because every year, the last couple of years, we're gonna have somebody new every single year. So I don't know. I mean, I hope he gets rid of Matt because, like I said, that system is just not working. That zone stuff just ain't working, and it's probably because of the personnel. But I'm tired of seeing that, man. I'm tired of seeing that broken coverage. Nobody know what the hell they doing, or they just standing around not doing anything. So I don't know, but you're right. You're right. I don't know if I see the Cowboys making a run. Their schedule is actually going to get a little bit tougher after they play the Raiders. They got Kansas City, they got the Eagles, they got the Lions and the Chiefs. That's like 4 games right there. Yeah, I mean, Minnesota.
It's tough. It's a tough schedule.
It's a tough. And if the Cowboys didn't win those games and they didn't win like now not another game for the rest of the year, I'd be totally okay with that. Because being in the middle of a pack of the draft has not really been helping the Cowboys as of late because they've been winning too much and then they end up picking at like 20. Like that doesn't help you improve the team either. But anyways, the Cowboys are going into a bye week, which is great. That means we actually get a break as well to where we can actually watch football, basketball on a Sunday and not have to worry about our team losing. So that's one thing for sure, that the Dallas Cowboys not lose this upcoming Sunday, Monday, or Thursday, which is great. Which is great. But anyway, man, huge celebration today. This is the Silver and Blue Huddle 50th episode. As I stated from the beginning, man, it is tough to get individuals together to make content with, make videos with, make podcasts with, make shorts with. But I have been lucky enough to make 50 episodes with my man Expert Corner and So Amazing. And I'm just forever grateful for these individuals for showing up every single week to listen to me capping, to listen to me just tell all kind of crazy stories and stuff like that. And I actually met both of these individuals in person before. I met Esper when he came down to Orlando. I met Mike when he came down to Orlando as well. So, anytime you can get together with some other content creators and they are genuinely good people, it's a W. It is a W. And we started Silver and Blue Huddle, what? I think, is it 2 years ago? Two
Yeah, I
seasons
mean,
ago, right?
I remember when you were like about to start the podcast, and you're like,
Right.
we need a name for the Silver and
Yes.
Blue. We
Yes.
didn't know what the name was, and so I got a chance to just be a part of like helping with the name of the podcast, but then kind of watching you and So Amazing kind of go at it, and then coming on as a guest,
Right.
and then finally coming on and being like, okay, let's just have Expert on here permanent as one of the co-hosts of the show. So
Yep.
the other thing is it's really cool when you can do this kind of stuff with people that you truly, like you said, that you truly have, care about. These are my brothers, not just Cowboy fans, but two of my friends. So to be able to come on here and kind of talk Cowboys, and then, we like to chop it up before the show starts, kind of laugh and joke.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun for me. But I have a blast doing these. Obviously, I wish the Cowboys had more success so we could get on here and talk about more success. But man, I have a good time. Anytime my phone rings and it's Rich, like, hey man, we got podcast tonight. Are you available? I love seeing those texts. And then of course, we just text back and forth during Cowboy games and just have a good time. But I look forward to the next 50 episodes. Hopefully one of those episodes we can be talking about the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I hope so as well. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't know that you actually did name this particular podcast Silver and Blue. I think I asked the community on like a Facebook post, and you came back and said Silver and Blue, and I was like, "That's it. That's the one, Silver and Blue Huddle." And that's how it was actually formed. I mean, Expert Corner actually gave it a name. It wasn't me. Like, I'm just the face of the podcast. I'm the one that pushed the buttons. I'm the one that uploaded. I'm the one that maybe makes shorts when I got time. But these guys really carry me most of the time because they a little bit more knowledgeable on the Cowboys than me. For me, I just totally BS the Cowboy stuff, and I'm just here to troll the community and get sound bites. So I do say some truthful stuff, but also say it's our year every single episode. So that's what I truly believe. But let's just backtrack a little bit, man. Let's just talk about how we actually became Cowboy fans. To begin with, I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, we're telling our age." Probably so, but we could just gonna do some rapid fire questions real quick and give you guys a background and about the Cowboys, because that's what it's really about. Anyway, we love our franchise. We love the team. We're gonna go down in the grave as Cowboy fans. We're not jumping ship. We're not leaving the Cowboys. You gonna let me down, and I'm going down as a Cowboy fan. So hopefully by that time we done saw Super Bowl. But when was the first time you actually became a Cowboy fan? Like, what made you become a Cowboy fan?
Yeah, so I was about 6 years old. I was actually in Wisconsin for Christmas break. My father is a diehard Packer. He grew up in Wisconsin. My entire side of my dad's family are diehard Packers. My grandfather, rest his soul, he really changed later in life. But when I was growing up, he was a really, really mean person. And he was mean to the sweetest woman that ever walked this planet. My grandma was one of the sweetest ladies ever. And he was always mean to her. And so we're at his house for Christmas break, and the Cowboys are playing the Packers. And my grandfather's in the living room cursing at the Dallas Cowboys. He hated the Cowboys. He hopes they get hurt. He hates it. And so we got in the car to go back to the hotel. And my dad tells this story, and he says, I remember my son saying, "Dad, from now on, I love the Dallas Cowboys because Grandpa hates them." So from that moment, I have been a Dallas Cowboy fan. I've been blessed to see the Cowboys win multiple Super Bowls, but since I was 6, I won't tell you how old I am, but it's been almost 40 years of being a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. For me, being a Cowboys fan, how I actually became a Cowboy fan, but like growing up in the 90s, like that's the era that I grew up in. And in the sports era of the 90s, the Cowboys was one of the best teams in the NFL. And that's pretty much how I became a Cowboy fan. Like I witnessed them win Super Bowls. I witnessed them being on TV a lot. A lot of people was talking about them. I'm also a Miami Hurricane fan as well. So they had Michael Irvin on the squad, and I was like, "Yo, that is my team." and they just won. Like, and I stuck with them ever since. Like, they was the ones that was on TV, and you can't really fault me for liking teams I was good at that time because I was growing up as a kid. So I lived in Florida. Miami Dolphins was terrible. The Buccaneers was terrible. And I was like, I didn't like Dan Marino, and I didn't like whoever the quarterback of Tampa was at the time, but they wasn't winning. And I just couldn't stand Dan Marino because a lot of my other friends was Dolphin fans, and I was like, no, 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 thank you. But I just stayed with the Cowboys because they was winning at the time, and they was always on TV, and I liked their colors. I liked the star. In high school, I had a little starter jacket. When it got cold or whatever, they had the big old star on the back of it. To me, that was cool. Like, they had the best starter jacket in the whole starter collection. So it was then I knew I was gonna be a Cowboy fan. I've been a Cowboy fan ever since. And as a fan, let the people know what is through the ups and downs. The Cowboys have been through 8-8. The Cowboys have been through Tony Romo, and I think you have a Tony Romo jersey on, right?
Yeah, I got the Romo on today.
Tony Romo not being able to get the ball down in Seattle in the playoff game. You've been through that moment. What has been the most painful moment as a Dallas Cowboy fan to you?
Yeah, I think the Tony Romo one is up there. They have Seattle beat and he fumbles the football. But I think for any Cowboy fan, the Des Bryant no catch in Green Bay, that team was destined to win the Super Bowl. They were really good. A lot of people don't really remember everything in that game, but DeMarco Murray fumbling in that football game really, really killed us too. Those two plays in that Green Bay game really, really hurt us. We had an opportunity to really make some noise and go win a Super Bowl that year, and I wish Tony Romo would have got a Super Bowl. But that's probably up there as my top one. I'm a huge Deion Sanders fan. When the Cowboys signed Deion, was one of my favorite days of my life. And then when they let Deion go and he went on to play for Washington, was a really bad day.
Right.
But the thing that broke my heart the most as a Cowboy fan, when I became a Cowboy fan, the Cowboys had one amazing player, and his name was Herschel Walker. And he was everything for the Dallas Cowboys. He returned kicks. He was the punt returner. He was the best offensive player as a running back. And I remember when Jerry Jones traded Herschel Walker.
Mm-hmm.
I was a young kid and I cried and cried. I thought they got rid of their best player. We gonna be horrible. Now, obviously, it worked out because we got Emmett and Troy and Michael Irvin, and we got the triplets and we won Super Bowls. But when they traded Herschel Walker, was the worst day of my life as a Cowboy fan.
Right.
Obviously, Herschel went on to Minnesota and didn't do anything for them. Like he did for the Cowboys. He just looked like Superman to us because we were horrible. He was the best player, but that's probably the worst day as a Cowboy fan for me.
Right. And for me, I think other than the Des Bryant, other than like the Tony Romo, and just going back as like a little kid, I remember watching the Leon Lett in the snow, the Dallas game versus
Against
Miami.
the Dolphins.
Against the
My
Dolphins.
gosh.
Leon Lett, what are you doing, bro? Like,
Ruined
God.
Thanksgiving, man.
Yes.
Just ruined it.
Yes. And that's another reason how I actually became a Cowboy fan because they used to play on Thanksgiving every single year. And I remember that game. Obviously, I'm still young or whatever. I didn't really understand the moment too much until like years later. But I remember watching that game and I was like, what happened? Like, what is going on? What is he doing? The Cowboys lose because of that? Like, as a kid, you didn't really know what was so bad about that play. Like, you just know that he just like messed it up and the Cowboys ended up losing. Like, that was a pretty tragic moment at a time. Tony Romo with the field goal, not getting the ball down. And even in that moment, I'm thinking Tony's still going to make it, right? Like, you would think he's still fast enough to cut that corner and get up in the end zone. Nope. He gets shoestring tackled from behind, and down goes Tony Romo, and the Cowboys lose. But I'm like, oh my God. But yes. And you mentioned the Des Bryant. I remember in that game, DeMarco Murray fumbling. To me, that moment right there sealed the deal for the Cowboys. Because I think if he'd have held on to that ball and not fumbled, the Cowboys were going to win.
Absolutely.
They was going to win.
Absolutely. Everybody remembers the Des Bryant part of that game.
Yes.
They don't talk enough about DeMarco Murray fumbling because DeMarco Murray has his best year ever of his career with the Dallas Cowboys. He fumbles in that Green Bay game, and that is what really cost us the game.
Exactly. That's exactly what cost us the game in that game. We talk about Dez, but we don't talk about that DeMarco Murray fumble. And that was the Tony Romo year. Cowboys Mount Rushmore.
Ooh.
Who do you got?
Ooh. Okay, you have to put Emmitt Smith on there. He's the greatest
Okay.
Dallas Cowboy ever. It's hard. It's so hard because there's so many great players. Like Roger Staubach was so amazing. Drew
Mm-hmm.
Pearson was so amazing. Tony Dorsett. I mean, there's just so many great players like Jason Witten, Des
Yes.
Bryant, Tony Romo. I mean, Dak Prescott, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin. But for me, I'm going to put the triplets on there because they won Super Bowl. So I'm going to put
Right.
Michael, Troy, and Emmett on there. Those three guys got to be on there.
Right.
And then for me, the other guy that just personified the Dallas Cowboys every single step of the way, it's got to be Jason Witten. So that would be my four guys that I would put on there. I would love to put Des Bryant on there. Obviously, some things happened at the end of his career there in
Mm-hmm.
Dallas that kind of sullied his tenure with the Cowboys. Didn't really end well with them. Jason Witten was a true Dallas Cowboy from start to finish. If I was going to take Jason Witten off, the only guy I would replace him with would be Zach Martin. That's
Ooh.
another guy that I could put on there that just personified the Dallas Cowboys. DeMarcus Ware. I mean, there's just so many guys, but those would be my four. The triplets, and then Jason Witten would be my
Right.
four guys.
Yeah, I totally agree. That was going to probably be my Mount Rushmore as well. I mean, I know some of the older guys like Roger, but I didn't get opportunity to see them actually play. But I agree with the triplets because that was the era that I started watching them and loving them, and I definitely agree with Jason Garrett. So outside of the Mount Rushmore, who do you think should have got a ring for the Dallas Cowboys but didn't?
I wish Tony Romo would have got a ring so
Same,
bad.
same.
Um, Zach Martin, I thought he should have got a ring.
Hmm.
DeMarcus Ware ends up getting a ring, but he got it with the Broncos. I wish he would have
Right.
got a ring in Dallas. You talk about a Des Bryant who gave his all for us as a Cowboy. Ezekiel Elliott, I wish he would have got a ring with the Cowboys, but
Mm.
Tony Romo's got to be at the top of that list for me. He did so much for the Dallas Cowboys from a guy that goes undrafted. People love to bash Tony Romo a lot. Forget he is an undrafted quarterback who did not play his first 3 years with the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
Finally gets his chance, takes Drew Bledsoe out. He goes in, never gives his starting job up, played through so many injuries, a
Hmm.
pierced lung in San Francisco. He hurts his back. Finally, he gets hurt in that Seattle preseason game, and Dak Prescott comes in and never looked back. Tony Romo deserved to win a championship with the Dallas Cowboys. I wish he would have, but that's just the way the NFL works. Some guys win, some guys don't.
Right.
And he played so well in certain years, and the Giants game where he just did not look good in the Giants game when they had the bye and they come back. They'll talk about the vacation while they're on the bye week with him and
Hmm.
Jason Witten till the end of time as that being the distraction. The Des Bryant catch, no catch, DeMarco Murray fumble. I mean, just he played so well and put the Cowboys in position to win. Statistically, the greatest Dallas Cowboy quarterback. Obviously, I think Dak's going to surpass all his
Right.
records, but at a time, the greatest statistic Dallas Cowboy quarterback of all time just annihilated all of Troy Aikman's records.
Right.
Felt bad that nine never won a championship.
I agree, and I would say Tony Romo as well because Tony Romo has taken so much criticism over the years. Even after he's already done playing for the Dallas Cowboys, people still talk about Tony Romo. But he had some amazing games. He made some crazy memories with the Dallas Cowboys. Coming back in Washington against the Washington Redskins at the time in that game when his back was hurting or whatever. Like Tony Romo was that dude. Unfortunately, he did
Yeah,
not get a Super Bowl because he had a bad defense or whatever. But stat wise, Tony Romo was it. He was able to put it up with the best ones. Played against Peyton Manning in Denver. They had a 51-48 game. Like they were just going back and forth, him and Peyton Manning. So I totally agree with you with Tony Romo. So rivalry games with the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody likes to have a rivalry game with the Cowboys. You got the Eagles. People consider the Commanders, the Giants, the 49ers. What rivalry game and what rivalry team? Who's really the most hated rivalry of the Dallas Cowboys?
I mean it's the Philadelphia Eagles, and it's not close, right? Right. That is the only rivalry team, right? The Giants have been piss poor
Mm-hmm.
since forever. The Commanders had to change their name. They was trash as the Redskins. They trash as the Commanders. The Philadelphia Eagles are the only team.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't get me wrong. I can't stand the other two in the division either. But It's the Philadelphia Eagles, and for me, the second one is the Green Bay Packers. They're 1-2 for me. I can't stand those two teams, and the reason I can't stand them is because those two teams are successful. So when you see your rival go and be successful, the Eagles have been to a couple Super Bowls. They've obviously won one last year. You saw the Packers win one in AT&T Stadium with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. I can't stand those two teams. I wouldn't even pit the Commanders and the Giants at 3. For me, it's the Eagles, the Packers, and then the 49ers are my 3 most hated teams in the NFL.
Right. I agree. I agree with you as well. Because Eagles, I mean, for me, the Eagles, like, and I know we went on a long winning streak against the Eagles the last couple of years. The Eagles just recently started beating the Cowboys, probably like 2 years ago. And we still kind of split with them as well during the season. But before that, we were spanking the Eagles. Like, we didn't lose to the division in like a long, long time. Dak Prescott was owning the NFC East. He was owning the Giants, owning the Eagles. I mean, he would lose to the 49ers, but I definitely agree. The Eagles and their fans are probably one of the worst. The Giants, maybe, but they ain't beat us in like 3-4 years. So it's been a while. And the 49ers, I can't really stand that fan base either because they be so quiet for so long. And they go out and win a few games, and then all of a sudden they come out of the shadows and be like, hey, here we are, bang, bang, Niner gang. I'm like, where was y'all at? like,
They chirping like field mice right now because their team is garbage again. Listen, everybody wants to talk about how long it's been since the Cowboys won a Super Bowl. It's been even longer for the 49ers.
Right.
So listen, I can't stand that organization or their fan base. Listen, I have friends that are 49er fans and they're good people, but I can't stand the 49ers. Same thing with the Eagles. I got friends that are Eagles fans and I can't stand the Eagles.
Right.
It's just how it is. It'll never change.
I agree. And last question. So if you can attend any Cowboys in history, any Cowboys game in history, what game would it be?
Oh, I would love to go back when they beat the Bills the first time in the Super Bowl and they just put that beat down, that B2A in the Bills. I would love to have been at that game. That game was amazing from the start. I could close my eyes and just see Michael Irvin catch that football in the air, turn around and dive for the end zone. Like that game was just so amazing from the start. We beat them down on both sides of the football. It was just a great game.
Right. And that was a game in Pasadena, right? That was in California. It was at the second one. Yeah. And I just want to go back and just like feel great about winning a Super Bowl again. So it would probably be one of those 3 Super Bowl games that I can go back to and like just relive the moment. And I know people are going to come for me in the comments, but that's okay because a lot of y'all teams ain't even won a Super Bowl. So Cowboys got 5. Your team probably had 0. And that's just the way it is. I mean, I know a lot of people say the Cowboys Super Bowls are dusty, but so is your high school diploma, and we don't complain about that now, right? Like I know mine is dusty. I don't even know where it is. So from trophies to high school diplomas, they all got dust on them. They all old, so it doesn't really make a difference, okay? But 50 episodes, man. Like again, thank you for joining up. Thank you for bringing my vision to life because I wanted to have a podcast and talk about the Cowboys and just talk about it in sports in general. So we was able to link up, get this done, and consistently do it for 50 episodes. I hope we have another 50 episodes, but on a different level to where we both were getting checks. All right. The goal for 2026 is to have Silver and Blue Huddle sponsored in some type of way. We got to take it to the next level, man. I think we've been making amazing content. I'm thankful for you and So Amazing, man. So 50 episodes, man. 50.
Yeah, can't wait for So Amazing to come back so we can celebrate with him. Obviously, he had to work late tonight, but yeah, it's been a pleasure. Can't wait for the next 50.
Yep. And Silver and Blue, we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Make sure you follow my man Expert Corner on TikTok, Twitch, Facebook, and every other platform there is. If there's one on Mars, he would definitely be on Mars as well. Give me a follow as well. And we'll catch you guys on next episode. We're going to skip a week because they on bye. So we'll go on bye and we'll come back and talk about the Raiders. And hopefully the Cowboys win. But Silver and Blue, we'll catch you guys on next episode.